And I
Yeah, I
think like,
remember
oh,
in one of our previous conversations, you talked a little bit about how you guys are really leveraging more and more of drones and robots in terms of EPC quality and the deliverables. Like, can you talk a little bit about the trends you're seeing in terms of new technologies to kind of monitor and also assess the quality of the jobs done at the construction sites and how that is becoming evolving?
yeah. So there's some great players out there, you know, Raptor Maps, Terabase. There's a lot of good technologies, and we're starting to use it. One, in terms of construction monitoring progress, and that is, you know, sending out a drone and telling us how many piles have been installed and how that reflects it in the percentage of the site built. And then on the O&M side, we're more used to IR scans, which gives us the thermal signature that can identify whether a module is online, offline, or if it has a cell level defect. With that said, where we're going is we're actually working on a pilot right now with autonomous drones. So what we're doing is we're putting drones on the site that are able to do repeatable missions as well as be called on demand. So this means, you know, we can do a monthly infrared survey that will tell us all the strings of line, and that can be constantly communicated to the O&M, but we can also deploy the drone in the event of a hail, in the event of, or even just to check whether the site is stowed right, you know, before a big storm. I always joke about, you know, looking out the window and somebody's asking you, is the site stalled? And you look out the window and you say, yep, but these sites are like beyond our line of sight. So they're just getting bigger and bigger. And, you know, humans, it's really hard to have that coverage. So we need to use drones. We need to use technology. And it's also a way to quickly digitalize and have a digital record of the site that feeds into the digital twin, like we said. So yeah, we're actively, you know, trying to identify what the best technology is. We're working with the leading companies in the US to provide us these solutions. And I think a big part of this is also that our industry has grown so fast that everybody's trying to do something new. And when everybody's trying to do something new, you know, it's really hard to find the experts in their field. So yeah.
Seems like nowadays, like a lot of this data activities are driven by compliance and reporting requirements. How important is it to define those in the right way? And I think we also talked about orange button. What are some levers that industry leaders can play with or bring forth to create the standardization that you would like to see in the industry? How do you think about that?
Well, I think a big one is GADS
Mhm.
reporting. This is a requirement that actually started earlier this year. It was mandatory for any power plant north of 100 megawatts to report in a certain way. And it's a very specific way that dictates, you know, what the plant ID should be, how to input the megawatts, you know, that the data needs to be in 5 minutes, that we need to define certain issue a certain way. So I think some of these regulatory requirements are going to drive how we need to maintain our data to be able to fulfill this. But it's really hard to get everybody to standardize across. Like I said, everybody's using their own systems. You know, one
Yeah.
ABC might use Procore, the other one might have their own internal software. So it's really hard to maintain that currently. And like you mentioned, initiatives like Orange Button, they're really trying to work to see what is the best way to have a single solar standardized data set across, you know, every single owner, asset, company.
Yeah.